When you trade a diamond for a piece of shit, don't expect the universe to hand you mercy. That's exactly what they did to you. They had someone rare, solid, irreplaceable, standing right in front of them, and instead of protecting it, instead of holding on, they tossed it aside for something cheap, nasty, and weak. That's not just betrayal, that's stupidity at its highest level. And now, whether they admit it or not, they're choking on the regret of it. Or they will. Because you're no ordinary person. You're chosen. You're the one the universe walks with. And they thought they could throw that away like it meant nothing. Look around at their lives now. Do you notice the silence? The forced smiles? The empty victories that don't feel real anymore? That's what betrayal buys you. Temporary noise, followed by permanent regret. They thought they'd moved on, but the truth is, they only moved themselves into misery. You see, when you betray a blessing, you don't just lose someone. You lose peace, protection, and every ounce of good energy that came with them. That's the part they never saw coming. And here's the twist. They thought you would collapse without them. They pictured you begging, broken, stuck. But instead, you're standing taller than ever. You've outlasted the storm. You've walked through fire and didn't burn. And that contrast, that undeniable glow you carry now, is exactly what makes their regret sharper by the day. It's the silence after the storm, the kind that rattles them more than your words ever could. They expected chaos from you, but what they got was calm strength. And nothing unsettles an enemy more than watching the person they tried to break rise higher without them. Chosen ones, I need to pause for just a second to thank you. Thank you for your strength, your endurance, your refusal to let betrayal define you. And if this message is hitting you right where it needs to, press the like button and subscribe, not just to support me, but to make this truth louder. Every click sends a signal out into the universe. Every subscription strengthens this mission, and together our voice becomes impossible to ignore. Now let's go even deeper, because this isn't just about betrayal. This is about reckoning. Studies have shown that humans regret missed opportunities more than they regret mistakes. Think about that for a second. A mistake can be fixed, but a missed opportunity haunts you forever. That's why they regret losing you far more than they regret choosing the nasty replacement. They didn't just make a bad choice. They lost a once-in-a-lifetime chance at something rare, and the universe doesn't hand those out twice. History proves it too. Think of kings who ignored loyal generals only to be destroyed by the traitors they trusted. Think of families torn apart when someone betrayed the one person holding everything together. Time and time again, betrayal never ends with peace. It circles back, it hunts, and it forces regret to take root. And right now, your enemies are living that exact story. The atmosphere around you proves it. When you walk into a room, their eyes shift, their smiles twitch, their energy dips. They can't look at you the same way anymore because seeing you reminds them of the decision they can't undo. You're the living proof of what they lost, the walking reminder that their upgrade was really a downgrade. That's why they avoid your presence, why they talk in whispers when your name comes up. You are the silence that exposes their noise. And the more you rise, the heavier their regret becomes. That's the part they didn't calculate. They thought leaving you would make them free, but instead it locked them in a prison with no walls. Because you can walk away from a person, but you can't escape the memory of what you threw away. Every accomplishment they try to post online feels empty compared to your quiet strength. Every fake laugh in public is swallowed by the weight of the truth in private. Let's get personal for a second. Think about your own story. Think about the nights you cried, the days you felt forgotten, the moments you thought you couldn't survive. And now, compare it to the strength you have today. That transformation isn't just survival. That's victory. And the same people who caused that pain now have to live with the fact that they built the very strength that terrifies them. You're stronger because of their betrayal, and that's the sharpest knife the universe could ever twist. Chosen one, don't doubt it. You were the blessing. You were the light in a world of fake. And they didn't just betray you, they betrayed themselves. They thought they were clever, but in the end, they're the ones stuck with regret that only gets louder with time. That's the price of trading diamonds for dirt. And before we move forward, chosen ones, I want you to pause for a moment and feel this truth sink in. They regret what they did to you. That regret is heavy, and it's only getting heavier with time. But here's the part that matters. You're the blessing they never valued, and this message isn't just about exposing them, it's about strengthening you. If this is hitting you deep, do your part to push it further out into the world. Press the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment with the word regret, so the universe knows you've claimed your power back. When you do that, you're not just supporting this channel, you're standing with every chosen one who has ever been betrayed, abandoned, or underestimated. You're adding your voice to a force that enemies cannot silence. And trust me, the deeper we go, the more this will feel like your story being read out loud. If you are truly chosen, you'll feel the pull to stay with me until the end, because what's coming next isn't just revelation, it's confirmation. So, let's step into it, one layer at a time. Let's begin. Number 1. They confused your golden heart for a doormat. Don't mistake silence for weakness. The loudest thunder hides inside the calmest cloud. They thought your kindness was free to abuse. They looked at your patience and mistook it for ignorance. They saw your forgiveness and thought it was desperation. They were convinced that because you let things slide, you didn't have the strength to fight. But chosen one, here's the truth they never wrapped their heads around. Your kindness was never weakness. It was power disguised. It was a conscious choice, a weapon sharper than any blade they could ever hold. And it terrified them once they realized it. Let's expose this lie for what it is. Weakness is when someone lashes out at every little thing because they can't control themselves. Weakness is needing to prove strength at every moment because deep down they feel small. Weakness is hiding behind disrespect, lies, and betrayal. And yet they projected that onto you. They thought your restraint meant fear. But real power isn't in reaction, it's in control. And you held that control like a lion sitting still while others barked around you. Why did they think that way? Because this world trains people to worship hardness. It celebrates cruelty. It cheers for arrogance. It treats coldness like power and laughs at softness like it's a flaw. And when you came along with your open heart, your forgiving spirit, your human decency, they didn't know how to handle it. They thought, oh, this one is easy to manipulate. This one will never walk away. This one will always tolerate disrespect because that's just who they are. And that's where they sabotaged themselves. Kindness has limits. Once you cross the line, the same heart that healed you becomes the silence that haunts you. Chosen one, think about how many times you let it slide. The insults you ignored, the betrayals you forgave, the disrespect you brushed off because you didn't want drama. You thought keeping peace was worth it, but every time you gave grace, they thought they won. They thought you were stuck, desperate, tied to them. They thought you didn't know better. They didn't realize you were documenting every strike, every wound, every game in silence. And when you finally withdrew your energy, it hit them harder than any explosion. Because what did they actually lose when they lost you? Not just a person, they lost a stabilizer, someone who calmed their chaos, someone who gave without keeping score. They lost the one who understood their silence, the one who stood by them even when they didn't deserve it. That kind of presence doesn't come back twice, and they only understood its weight the moment it was gone. Now, the conversations that once settled their storms, gone. The reassurance they once leaned on like a crutch, gone. The gentle correction that kept them from self-destruction, gone. They're left with emptiness that feels like an echo chamber, where the only voice they hear is their own guilt bouncing back at them. They mistook the candle for weakness until the room went dark without it. Here's the irony. They thought you'd always be there, that no matter how many times they pushed, no matter how many times they betrayed, you'd forgive and reset the game. They thought you were locked in, but your kindness had boundaries too, and once those were crossed, the door slammed shut. They weren't ready for that. They weren't ready for the cold reality of your absence. And now, they're discovering something brutal. Kindness like yours isn't just rare, it's damn near extinct. They thought they could find better, thought they could replace you with someone flashier, colder, or nastier. But guess what? They didn't find better. They found worse. They found temporary thrills wrapped in chaos. They found people who drain instead of give, who mock instead of understand, who take without ever returning. And while they're drowning in the mess they chose, the memory of your kindness sits like a ghost they can't shake. Maybe they ask themselves now, why did I let them go? Why did I treat them that way? And the answer is simple. They confused your strength with weakness. They confused your golden heart with a doormat. They gambled everything on the belief that you'd never walk away. And now, not only are you gone, but they've lost the prize of a lifetime. History has seen this before. Think of those who mocked visionaries for being too soft, only to live under the inventions they once laughed at. Think of leaders who betrayed loyal advisors, only to fall to traitors they trusted instead. Think of lovers who replaced devotion with lust, only to wake up to emptiness beside someone who never cared. The story always ends the same. The betrayer discovers too late that the one they discarded was their anchor all along. And here's what fuels your fire, chosen one. Their regret is your confirmation. Every restless night they suffer is proof that your kindness wasn't weakness. It was irreplaceable strength. Every fake smile they force in public while dying inside is proof that walking away was the best move you ever made. They're haunted by the contrast. You're thriving in silence while they're collapsing in noise. You're glowing in peace while they're choking in regret. You became their biggest lesson, the one they'll never outrun. They mistook your patience for desperation. They mistook your forgiveness for fear. But the only mistake that mattered was theirs, thinking you'd stay forever. So, chosen one, don't ever doubt yourself. Don't ever think your kindness was wasted. It wasn't weakness. It was a test, and they failed it. It was a mirror, and they cracked it. It was a gift, and they threw it away. Their regret is their punishment, their loss is their consequence, and their downfall is their payment. You are not weak. You never were. You are a diamond they traded for dirt, and the universe is making sure they live every single day knowing it. Number 2. They tried to kill your spark because their flame was fake. Insecure people don't hate your light. They hate the shadows it exposes in themselves. They couldn't stand your glow. Not because you did anything wrong, not because you were showing off, but because your very existence exposed the cracks in their mask. You walked into rooms and energy shifted. People noticed you without you even trying. They respected you, some even admired you. And instead of standing beside you and rising with you, they saw you as a threat. They couldn't handle it, so they did the only thing insecure people know how to do. They tried to dim you. Imagine this. You walk into a party. You're not even dressed the loudest. You're not trying to outshine anyone, but people naturally gravitate toward you. Conversations lean your way, eyes follow you, and the atmosphere subtly bends in your favor. And then there's that one person in the corner, smiling on the surface, but clenching their teeth inside. Why? Because your presence reminds them of everything they lack. That was your enemy. That's what you dealt with daily. They tried subtle digs. They threw backhanded compliments. They questioned your ideas, your worth, your confidence, all in hopes you would shrink. Are you sure you can handle that? Don't you think you're being a little much? Why do people always pay attention to you? They wanted you smaller, quieter, easier to control, anything that wouldn't challenge the fragile castle of lies they built around themselves. They wanted you to dim so they could shine, forgetting that fake light dies when the real sun rises. But chosen one, here's the truth. They couldn't dim you. They couldn't cage what was never theirs to hold. Real light can't be destroyed by gossip, by jealousy, or by insecure people desperate to avoid their own reflection. Your glow was never dependent on their approval, and that's what made them furious. The more they tried to shrink you, the more obvious their insecurity became. And every attempt they made only revealed just how small they really were. Let me ask you a question. Did you ever wonder why the people who claimed to love you were the same ones undermining you? Did you ever sit awake at night asking yourself, why would they want me to be less when I was only trying to give more? The answer is ugly but simple. They thought your shine took something away from them. They believed the only way they could matter was if you were silent. That's not love, chosen one. That's envy in disguise. Imagine this. 2 candles lit in the same room. One candle burns steady, bright, filling the space naturally. The other candle is weak, its flame flickering, barely holding on. Instead of drawing closer to your light to grow, that weaker candle tries to blow yours out. But here's the punchline. It doesn't work. It never works, because your fire wasn't lit by them in the first place. And so they betrayed you. They thought cutting you off would make them rise. They believed that removing your presence would leave more room for their own glow. But what happened? The moment you left, their world dimmed even more. Because your light wasn't just about you, it elevated everything around you, including them. Without you, they weren't brighter. They were exposed. Envy doesn't make them shine brighter. It just burns their own house down, trying to kill your flame. Chosen one, think of all the times you lowered your volume so someone else could feel heard. Think of all the times you downplayed your victories so others wouldn't feel insecure. Think of how often you carried their burdens while hiding your own just to keep the peace. And what did they give you in return? They tried to make you question yourself. They tried to make you doubt the very thing that made you rare. But the universe doesn't let real light go unnoticed. That's why, even after betrayal, you're still rising. Your silence now shines louder than their noise. Your peace now glows brighter than their chaos. And the irony? The more you glow, the more they realize how impossible it is to replace you. Imagine this, a diamond thrown into the dirt. People walk past, some step on it, some ignore it. But when the sun hits it just right, even covered in dust, it blinds everything around it. That's you. They thought betrayal would bury you, but it only revealed you more. Now they're stuck watching from the shadows, hating the fact that the same light they tried to kill is the same light they'll never find again. So let's answer the burning question. Why do they regret it now? Because regret always comes when the silence sets in, when they scroll through their phone and realize the only voice that ever calmed them is gone. When they walk into a room and see people gravitating towards someone else, the same way they once gravitated toward you. When they realize the nasty replacement doesn't glow, doesn't elevate, doesn't attract, but drains. You don't have to dim your light for anyone. The right people will stand in it, not hide from it. Chosen one, never again question your shine. They wanted you small because your light revealed their shadows. They wanted you silent because your voice carried truth they couldn't face. They wanted you broken because your strength made them feel weak. But the more they tried to push you down, the higher you rose. And now their jealousy has turned into regret. Because the truth is simple. They'll never outshine you. They'll never replace you. And they'll never escape the fact that the glow they once despised is the same glow they now crave. That's what burns them the most. Number 3, they chased cheap thrills and called it victory. Fast food fills the stomach, but real meals feed the soul. They chose the drive-through life and wondered why they're still starving. They thought the short game was enough. They bet everything on quick wins, on easy pleasures, on whatever glittered in the moment. They believed shortcuts would save them, that temporary highs would carry them to lasting success. But here's the truth. Instant gratification fades. The rush dies, the crowd moves on, and the applause always goes silent. They never understood that while they were chasing sparks, you were building a fire that would never burn out. Let's get real. Why did they choose quick wins? Because patience is rare and discipline feels heavy to those who have none. It's easier to grab what's in reach than to invest in something that takes time. It's easier to party with the shallow than to build with the steady. They didn't see your value because you weren't packaged in cheap excitement. You were the long-term investment, and they weren't wise enough to see past the moment. Imagine this. Someone trades gold bars for candy wrappers. It looks fun for a second, but when the sugar melts away, they're left with nothing but trash in their hands. That's them. And the irony. They thought they were outsmarting you. They thought choosing quick gratification over your steady loyalty was some kind of win. But how's that win looking now? The truth is, their victories didn't last. The people who cheered them on are gone. The shiny distractions lost their shine. And now, while they're left with empty hands and fading memories, you're thriving in everything you've built, with patience, vision, and purpose. Your success isn't loud, it's undeniable, and nothing cuts deeper than watching you flourish without ever needing the shortcuts they chose. They chased sparks, you became the fire. Chosen one, this is why they regret it so much, because regret doesn't just come from losing, it comes from realizing they lost to the one who played the long game. They wanted it fast, you wanted it real, and in the end, real always outlasts fake. They didn't just lose you, they lost the future you carried, and that's a loss they'll never recover from. Number 4, betrayal knocked them out of alignment with the universe. When you betray a pure soul, you don't just lose them, you lose the universe that walked with them. There's a weight to betrayal that can't be measured in broken trust or bruised feelings. It's deeper than apologies, deeper than guilt. When they betrayed you, chosen one, they didn't just lose your loyalty. They lost their alignment with the very energy that was protecting them. You weren't in their life by accident. You were there for a reason. A source of peace when their world shook, wisdom when their choices clouded, and protection from storms they didn't even see coming. But blinded by ego, greed, and jealousy, they threw it all away. Imagine this: someone living under a strong roof during a storm, safe, warm, untouched by the chaos outside. Then one night, out of arrogance, they rip the roof off with their own hands. The rain pours in, the wind howls, and suddenly they're drenched, exposed, shivering in the very storm you once shielded them from. That's what their betrayal did. By walking away from you, they didn't just hurt you, they stepped outside the protection the universe had wrapped them in. Karma doesn't forget names. Betrayal writes its own return address. And here's where it stings most. Since the day they betrayed you, nothing has flowed for them the same way. Doors that once opened easily are sealed tight. Opportunities slip right through their fingers. Peace has become a stranger. They'll say it's bad luck, but we both know the truth. It's the consequence of spitting on a blessing. They had alignment, they had favor, and they lost it the moment they chose chaos over loyalty. Do you wonder why they regret it now? Because they can see the contrast. While you're rising, they're stuck. While you're walking in alignment, they're stumbling in confusion. They thought betraying you was just a personal decision, but now they realize it was a spiritual downfall. Some losses heal, this one doesn't. Betrayal doesn't just break bonds, it breaks destiny. And that's the ultimate regret, knowing they had something priceless, something that elevated them, but they threw it away for nothing. They didn't just lose you, they lost alignment with the universe itself. That's a price too heavy to pay, and one they'll carry forever. Number 5. They flunked the test of having you. Some people weren't tested with money or fame, they were tested with you, and they failed. You weren't in their life by coincidence, you were their assignment. Not every connection is random. Some people cross your path to challenge you, but sometimes you are the challenge for them, the test they never saw coming. The instructions were simple: recognize the blessing, respect it, grow with it. But they didn't. They let ego, selfishness, and short-term thinking cloud everything. Instead of elevating with you, they betrayed you. And in doing so, they failed their test miserably. Imagine this: a student walks into an exam room with the answers already written on the desk. No tricks, no traps, just the truth laid out in front of them. And still, they scribble nonsense, ignore the clues, and walk out thinking they outsmarted the system. That's what they did with you. You were the answer key to their peace, their growth, their alignment. But blinded by pride, they treated you like an obstacle instead of the blessing you were. Life doesn't punish with cruelty. It teaches with consequence. Do you ever wonder why their downfall feels so sharp, so relentless? It's because when life gives someone a rare opportunity and they throw it away, the universe makes sure the lesson sticks. They could have had peace. They could have had stability. They could have grown alongside you. Instead, they chose betrayal. And now, every door that shuts in their face is a reminder. You failed the test. Here's the cruel twist. While they're stuck repeating the same lessons, you've moved forward. You're thriving, you're growing, you're evolving. Their betrayal didn't slow you down. It became the very fire that fueled you. But for them, the regret cuts deeper every day. Because regret always screams louder when the answer was in front of them the whole time. Failing a test in school costs you a grade. Failing the test of loyalty costs you destiny. Chosen one, that's why they're haunted. They didn't just lose you, they lost their chance at elevation. And life doesn't hand out second answer sheets. That's the weight they carry now, and that weight doesn't go away. Number 6. They sold a kingdom for a night of crumbs. Lust is cheap. It burns fast and leaves nothing but ashes. Legacy is priceless. It builds forever. Some choices echo for generations. Betraying you wasn't just a bad decision. It was a collapse of vision. They didn't just walk away from a person. They walked away from a legacy. You weren't in their life to give them momentary highs. You were there to build something lasting, something with roots and branches, something that would outlive both of you. And they traded it all for the shallow thrill of lust. Imagine this. A builder is handed blueprints for a palace, strong walls, high towers, a foundation that could last centuries. But instead of laying bricks, they grab a handful of fireworks, quick sparks that flash bright and then vanish into smoke. That's exactly what they did. They had the chance to help build something eternal with you, but they threw it away for a hollow rush that didn't even last. When you choose lust over loyalty, you don't just lose love, you lose legacy. Do you ever wonder if they regret it now? Look closer. Their so-called victory looks empty. The thrill faded, the rush turned to rot. And now they're standing in the ruins of what could have been, realizing they sold out something priceless for something worthless. Because lust doesn't build, it destroys. It doesn't plant, it burns. And when the fire goes out, all that's left are ashes and regret. Meanwhile, you're thriving, you're building, you're moving with purpose that no cheap distraction can ever match. That's why their regret stings so deeply. They know they could have been part of a story that mattered. They could have stood beside you as foundations were laid, as blessings flowed, as legacy unfolded. But they weren't thinking long-term. They were thinking momentary. And now it's too late. They thought lust was a win, but it was really the receipt of their loss. Chosen one, let this sink in. They didn't just lose you, they lost alignment with a future they'll never touch again. Legacy doesn't wait for fools. Once you trade it for crumbs, it's gone. And now they carry the weight of knowing they gambled with destiny and came up empty-handed. Number 7. They hated the truth, staring back at them. People don't destroy mirrors because of the glass. They destroy them because of the reflection. Chosen one, you were never their enemy. You were their mirror, and that's exactly why they couldn't handle you. Your very presence exposed them. You didn't sugarcoat. You didn't play along with their illusions. You walked in as your authentic, grounded, unapologetic self, and that shook them to their core. Because mirrors don't lie, and you were the truth they couldn't escape. Imagine this. Someone stands in front of a mirror with stains all over their face. Instead of cleaning themselves up, they smash the mirror to pieces. That's exactly what they did with you. Your confidence highlighted their doubts. Your kindness exposed their bitterness. Your growth made their stagnation painfully obvious. And instead of using that reflection to evolve, they resented you for it. They didn't hate you, they hated what you revealed about them. Do you ever ask yourself why they came at you so hard? Why the gossip, the betrayal, the subtle digs? The answer is simple. People don't attack what they hate. They attack what reflects the parts of themselves they can't stand. And your life was that reflection. Every time they looked at you, they were forced to see what they lacked. That wasn't your fault. That was their refusal to confront the truth. Here's the painful irony. You weren't judging them. You weren't even competing. You were showing them what was possible. You were proof that they could have grown too, but they weren't ready for that reality. Instead of becoming better, they chose bitterness. Instead of facing their reflection, they chose to smash it. And in doing so, they didn't destroy you. They only shattered their own chance at becoming greater. The mirror was never their enemy. Their enemy was their refusal to change. Now look at the contrast. They're stuck with the same insecurities they ran from, while you've moved on stronger, wiser, and freer. They tried to break you, but all they broke was their path to growth. That's the regret they'll carry forever, the knowledge that the truth was standing right in front of them, and they chose to run from it. Number 8. They tossed the original and settled for a knockoff. Why chase copies when you fumbled the blueprint? Regret stings hardest when the original is gone. Chosen one, you weren't just another option, you were the blueprint, the original, the design that others could only imitate in fragments, but they couldn't see it. They weren't ready for your depth, your brilliance, your layers. They wanted something easier, something basic, something that didn't require vision to value. And so they traded the rare for the common, believing convenience was smarter than commitment. Imagine this. An architect is handed the master design for a timeless monument, but instead of building it, they toss it aside and scribble on napkins, thinking shortcuts will do the job. What happens? Nothing stands. Nothing lasts. That's exactly what they did with you. They fumbled the masterpiece while chasing after paper-thin imitations. Shortcuts never build legacies, they only build regret. And here's where it burns them most. The things they once dismissed in you, your confidence, your creativity, your grace, are the very things they're now out in the world chasing. But all they find are watered-down copies. Knockoffs, fragments, cheap versions that collapse under pressure. Because authenticity can't be replicated, and they let the real thing slip through their hands. Do you ever wonder if they understand the depth of their mistake now? Believe it, they do. Every failed attempt to find another you is a reminder that you were the original. Every hollow connection they cling to feels flimsy compared to what you carried naturally. They can't rebuild what they destroyed because the foundation was you, and they threw it away. They didn't lose a person, they lost the blueprint, and without it, nothing they build will stand. Now look at the contrast. While they stumble in chaos, trying to piece together fragments, you're miles ahead, thriving, standing tall in the timelessness they never had the vision to see. That's the sharpest cut of all, the realization that they had something priceless, something irreplaceable, and they settled for a knockoff. And here's the truth that haunts them. You can't replicate purpose. You can't copy destiny. They fumbled the original, and the universe will make sure they never forget it. Number 9. They gambled against destiny and lost everything. Never bet against the one the universe favors. That's a game rigged for your regret. They thought you were the underdog, someone they could dismiss, overlook, and discard without a second thought. To them, you were just a temporary presence, a filler chapter in their story, someone they could bet against and walk away without consequence. But chosen one, they had no idea who they were playing with. Rejecting you wasn't just rejecting a person, it was rejecting the blessings, the protection, the opportunities that came tied to your presence. And that gamble cost them everything. Imagine this. Someone sits at a poker table and throws away a winning hand, convinced it's worthless. Minutes later, the dealer flips the cards, and the whole table erupts because they just folded on the jackpot. That's exactly what they did with you. They folded the winning hand. They underestimated your strength, your resilience, and your quiet preparation. They thought you'd fade into the background, but every time they wrote you off, you were quietly leveling up behind the scenes. The greatest mistake your enemies made wasn't betraying you, it was betting against you. And now, look at the contrast. They're stuck in ruins, wandering through the wreckage of their poor decisions, wondering why nothing in their life aligns. Doors slam shut in their face. Peace slips out of their hands. Meanwhile, you're moving effortlessly, walking through open doors they can't even approach. Every success you embody is a reminder that their gamble failed. Do you ever wonder why their regret looks so heavy? Because it's not just about losing you, it's about realizing they lost against destiny. Betting against someone chosen, someone built for greatness, is a gamble no one can afford. They didn't just miscalculate, you were always the winning hand. They placed their bets on your downfall, but the universe cashed out on your victory. Now they're stuck on the sidelines, forced to watch you shine in ways they never thought possible. Every step you take higher is another nail in the coffin of their arrogance, and that's the ultimate regret. They didn't just lose the game, they lost their chance to ever sit at your table again. Number 10, their betrayal lit the fire that made you unstoppable. They thought betrayal would bury you. They didn't know you were a seed. They thought betraying you would break you down, silence your voice, and weaken your spirit. They believed their betrayal was the nail in your coffin. But instead of killing you, chosen one, it became your awakening. The wound they left behind didn't drown you. It burned inside you, and that fire became fuel. Their betrayal wasn't your ending. It was the catalyst that pushed you into becoming someone they could never touch again. At first, yes, it hurt. Betrayal always cuts deep. It feels raw, disorienting, like the ground ripped open beneath you. But pain has a strange way of sharpening clarity. What they meant for destruction became the very pressure that forced you to evolve. You didn't grow out of revenge, you grew out of necessity. You had no choice but to level up, and you did. Stronger, wiser, sharper, more unstoppable than they ever imagined. Pain is a forge. Betrayal is the hammer. You came out steel. Think about it. They thought they were cutting you down, but in reality, they planted you. They underestimated the soil you were rooted in, and like a buried seed, you broke through the dirt, reaching higher than ever. Their betrayal was never the end of your story. It was the chapter that revealed your true power. Now look at the contrast. While they sit with regret, replaying their choices like broken records, you're thriving, you're rising, you're building a life that glows brighter than anything they could have offered or imagined. The truth that burns them most is this: their betrayal didn't just fail, it backfired. They didn't just hurt you, they helped create the version of you that stands above them all. They armed you with fire and then cried when you became untouchable. Chosen one, let this sink in. Their betrayal was never your downfall, it was your transformation. And now, the same people who thought they were destroying you are forced to watch as you rise higher than they'll ever reach. That's the ultimate revenge. The fact that their betrayal wasn't a weapon against you, it was the making of you. Number 11. They didn't choose love. They chose the mirror of their own madness. People don't always choose what's best for them. They choose what reflects their brokenness. They didn't choose better when they betrayed you. They chose chaos. Not because chaos was good, but because it felt familiar. Their dysfunction needed company, and instead of facing their demons, they ran towards someone who mirrored them. Choosing you would have meant growth. It would have meant accountability. It would have meant stepping into a higher version of themselves. But growth terrified them. Accountability crushed their ego. So they chose comfort in dysfunction, even if it meant losing the rare blessing standing right in front of them. Imagine this: a person standing at a crossroads. One road leads to light, discipline, peace. The other leads back into a burning house. Instead of walking toward safety, they sprint back into the flames, because the fire feels like home. That's exactly what they did. You were too grounded for their instability, too real for their lies, too steady for their recklessness. To be with you, they would have had to step up, and they weren't ready for that. They didn't run from you, they ran from the responsibility you represented. It was never truly about you. Their betrayal was a reflection of them. It showed exactly where they stood, mentally and emotionally. They weren't capable of choosing real love because real love demands work. It demands healing, accountability, and sacrifice. And they wanted none of that, so they picked chaos, the same way a drowning person clings to an anchor. Now, look at the consequences. They're trapped in the mess they chose, pretending it was the right decision while secretly drowning in regret. Meanwhile, you're free. You're at peace. You're building, thriving, glowing in ways they'll never know. They didn't just lose you, they lost themselves. When they chose dysfunction over you, they didn't downgrade partners. They downgraded their entire destiny. And here's the bitter truth. As long as they keep choosing what's easy over what's right, they'll stay stuck in the very chaos they thought would save them. You were never the problem. They were. And now they're left to face the reflection they couldn't escape, the reflection of their own madness. Number 12. They exiled themselves from the story they were meant to write with you. Some losses don't come from being pushed out. They come from walking out on yourself. They had the chance to be part of something extraordinary. They stood at the threshold of a story that wasn't just about you, chosen one. It was about what could have been built together. A legacy, a future, a chapter that could have elevated both of you, but they couldn't see it. Blinded by ego, by lust, by chaos, they betrayed the very role they were meant to play. And in doing so, they wrote themselves out of your story. Imagine this. An actor walks off stage mid-play, certain the show won't go on without them. But the curtain rises again, and the production continues, bigger, brighter, more powerful than ever. That's what happened here. They thought betraying you would stall the plot, but the truth is, the story moved forward without them. You didn't stop. Even through the pain, even through the betrayal, you kept building. And every step you took created chapters they will never belong to. You didn't erase them. They erased themselves. Now, they're outsiders looking in. They're stuck in the past, staring through the glass at a life that could have been theirs to share. And no matter how badly they want to rewrite their role, it's too late. The ink has dried, the narrative has shifted, the plot has advanced, and they no longer exist in it. Do you ever wonder why their regret feels so sharp now? Because nothing cuts deeper than watching someone you underestimated thrive without you. They didn't just lose you, they lost access to every victory, every blessing, every chapter you've stepped into since. They tried to edit your story, but ended up deleting themselves. And that's the sting they'll never escape. You're moving forward into peace, growth, and success, while they linger in the margins of a book that no longer has their name in it. They could have been co-authors of something timeless, but they settled for being spectators of what they abandoned. Now, the story belongs to you alone, and every page you turn without them is proof that betrayal doesn't stop destiny. It only removes the ones too blind to be part of it. Number 13. They lost the key to the new you. The person they betrayed doesn't even exist anymore, and the new you won't open the door. When they walked away, they thought it was simple. In their mind, they could come and go whenever they pleased, like your life was a revolving door. But they didn't just close a door, they locked it behind them. What they failed to see is that the version of you they betrayed wasn't your final form. You were still unfolding, still learning, still becoming. And now you've evolved into someone they can't even recognize, let alone access. Imagine this. A train leaves the station, steady and unstoppable. They jump off, certain they can hop back on whenever they want. But by the time they realize their mistake, the train has disappeared beyond the horizon. That's what happened with you. You kept moving, you kept growing, you became someone stronger, wiser, sharper, and by stepping off, they forfeited their seat in your journey. They didn't lose the old you, they lost the right to meet the new you. And that's the cut that stings them most. Because while they're stuck replaying the past, you've leveled up into a version of yourself they can't touch. They want access, but access is denied. They want to rewind, but time doesn't bend backward for those who fumbled. They thought you'd always be there, unchanged, waiting. But that version of you is gone, buried in the ashes of betrayal. Now, every glimpse they catch of your growth burns them alive. The strength, the wisdom, the peace, they could have grown alongside you, but instead they settled for chaos. And in losing you, they lost the chance to become the version of themselves they were meant to be. You are proof that betrayal doesn't break people, it evolves them. And evolution never reopens old doors. So let them watch from the distance. Let them feel the sting of knowing they threw away front-row seats to the show of your transformation. Because the truth is simple. They didn't just lose you. They lost the future you, the better you, the untouchable you. And that's a regret they'll never escape. And that brings us here, chosen ones, the final truth they can't escape. Their betrayal wasn't the end of you, it was the end of them. You rose higher, stronger, wiser, while they're left with regret carved into every corner of their life. Remember this, you were always the blessing, always the diamond, and they'll spend forever choking on the loss of you. If this message hit your spirit, press like, subscribe, and drop the number 77 in the comments to claim your power. Share this video so every chosen one knows they were never the problem.